Thank you for joining me once again. I'm super excited to be here talking at stories from the Bible and how we can apply the lessons there in our everyday life. And today we are going to talk about what to do when a friend becomes an enemy.
Is anybody out there? Is anybody out there? I wish that they could hear me. I'm familiar with the feeling like no one cares.
What do you do when your trusted confidant becomes an seen this happen throughout life where people who used to be super close have a fallout and no longer see eye to eye. And not just that, they actually begin to butt heads against each other to a point where it is very, very destructive. I put out a post a couple days ago that said that when your friend becomes your enemies have access to knowledge on how to pull you down. It's not a scenario that we ever wish or hope for, because when you get into a relationship with someone, a friendship with someone, you are not getting into it with anticipation that it's going to end. You get into it and over time build trust, build, your camaraderie, share your life experiences, your success, the things that you go through, intimate stories about you, secrets. All these things are shared in the course of the relationship. But when that relationship ends, especially when the falling out is not a good one, that could be very tricky and could be deep. So today, let's look at a Bible story about when a man's friend became his enemy, and let us see how he handled it. King David, the famous King David whom I've loved so much, the man after God's own heart. His son Absalom, his first son, decided to overthrow his father, decided to plan a coup against his father to overthrow his father's government. And then there was a man called Ahithophel, who was the counselor of David, who was David's right hand man. The Bible says Ahithophel's advice was taken like the oracle of God, like he was the person that was constantly in the ear of David, giving him advice. As the Ahithophel turned his back against David and sided with Absalom, David's son, who was trying to overthrow his father, who was planning a coup against his father. This man that once was close to David was now in the ear of the very person that wanted to kill David. When David heard that his trusted confidant Ahithophel was now with Absalom, he knew that that could be dangerous for him. And he did something, which is where we're going to focus today. He prayed a prayer. He said, "Oh God, turn the advice of Ahithophel, turn the counsel of Ahithophel into foolishness." In other words, whatever he says, let it be unto Absalom like an unreasonable thing. Whatever he says, let Absalom not listen to him. Whatever he says, let it not make sense to Absalom. Now here is why. Because whatever Ahithophel was going to say would have been truth, would have been vital information that would have given Absalom access to David. And when he prayed that prayer, it is recorded that Ahithophel did give Absalom some advice, which was true advice on how to kill David, which was Absalom's goal. But Absalom did not listen to Ahithophel's advice. He listened to another person who gave him a different advice, and that spared the life of David. When your friend becomes an enemy, they have information about you that could potentially bring you down. They have secrets about you that can make you lose opportunity, that can make you lose friendships, that can wreck your home. Because as women, sometimes we would tell our close friends the things that happen in the home. And then what happens when that friend becomes an enemy? I came to encourage you to do what David did. that whoever was a friend, now an enemy, seeking to pull you down, let the word that they say about you to the world, to other people, that would be your strategy to pray. Because you cannot go to every single person that this once friend is talking to. You can't go to them to explain yourself. How many people would you be explaining yourself to? I encourage you to stand your ground, to be at peace and pray, because there's power in prayer. We see it in the story of David and how Ahithophel's counsel was turned into foolishness. Sometimes what that person will say can cost you a few couple relationships, because they will be giving out vital information. But hold your peace and stay put, because God is a God that vindicates, and God is a God that says that vengeance is His. Don't fret. It is not time for you to take your friends or ex-friends' secrets to the world, because an eye for an eye never brings about peace. It is not time for you to also break that confidence and begin to talk about their own secrets that they told you. You stand your ground, have your peace, and let God do the fighting for you to turn their counsel into foolishness. Over time, people will realize the person that they are. People will begin to understand who they truly are and who they're and the kind of person that they are. By trying to tarnish your reputation, they will be tarnishing theirs. So if you have learned anything from this story today, look at the wisdom of David. He relied so much on God. He knew that God could turn any negative talk about him into foolishness, or in a way that would best benefit him. And that is our example today. Do you have a friend who is out there in the community tarnishing your reputation? And are you so heavy laden by that? Draw strength today from David's story, and may God turn into foolishness the talk coming from that one who was once your friend. I hope this has encouraged someone, and until next time, this has been Excel.